Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are fine people. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Roller42 on my video blog account, Rolling Blogger HD. Now, I know this is supposed to be an account for vlogs, but right now I don't have the ability to use my camera, so you're just going to have to listen to my voice for a moment, at least for a video or two. Now, I had originally planned to make this video about a video game. But after what I've seen lately for these past days, this talk about a video game is going to have to wait for this because this is a little bit more serious. Now, if you're just watching this, I recommend you to listen to this in the background, like I said at the beginning of the video, because all of this is going to be only my voice. I know this account is for video blogs, but unfortunately, I don't have the ability to use my camera at the moment, so you're going to have to listen to my voice for a video or two. So if you want to enjoy this better, listen to this in the background while doing something. That's just my suggestion. Okay, now onto the topic at hand, shall we? There's this restaurant in the United States, which I'm not gonna name. I think all of you can guess it by the tags or by the title of the video. That has a rather traditional, quote unquote, belief about how they want to serve things. They are Christians and they want to make use of their religion in every possible way. They want to reflect their beliefs in the way they manage the restaurant, which is, it's nice. I always approve of people pushing their beliefs, of practicing them if they really believe in them. And for a while, it seemed like this restaurant was doing pretty well. Family values, basic Christianity, all that sort of thing. Well, over the years, this has changed, and this has been rather hurting their reputation lately, and they have put them under some rather not so nice feedback from people. They are getting kind of a bit of heat, and with good reason. Since these people, they believe in Christianity, they're Christians, and they are, you could say, hardcore Christians without trying to use it in a humorous manner. They have a strict belief, about a man and a woman being the right choice, for a relationship, for a couple. The marriage between a man and a woman. They don't believe in homosexuality. If anything, the Bible puts homosexuality as a sin. Now, like I said, the United States, as far as I know, is the land of the free. Everyone is free to express their beliefs and their religions. Unfortunately, this restaurant forgets that they are in the land where there's supposed to be freedom. They're in a land where homosexuals are supposed to have their rights and are supposed to have their right to be. Now, since these people don't believe in homosexuality, then they don't like homosexuality and view it as a sin. They have done some rather not nice decisions. A lot of the money they have been gathering, they've been giving it away to anti-gay organizations, which already puts them under a very bad light. Especially because anti-gay organizations tend to demonize homosexuality. They tend to view it as something devilish. Some of them even go to the ridiculous belief that people who go to schools to talk about homosexuality and how it's not a bad thing and it's not something you should be afraid of. They talk about recruiting them as if homosexuality was another religion, which is, in my honest opinion, is ridiculous. Now, I know I might be wrong. I might be thinking that this organization, this restaurant is supporting, are not the ones that talk about homosexuals recruiting kids into being homosexuals themselves. But you people get my point. Anyway, a lot of you can tell me that it's their right, land of the free, freedom of speech. They are free to express their beliefs, and they're free to donate to anti-gay organization, even though this makes them extremely intolerant and homophobic in the eyes of the world, of a world that has more or less learned to live with homosexuals, to learn to coexist with one another, and to respect each other. Well, while they have the freedom to do that, they also have done something that has really caused people to get really angry at them. Recently, the company that's behind the Muppets has come out of the woodwork and have said they are going to support completely organizations that help homosexuals like GLAD. Now, this of course comes in a very bad puts this restaurant in a very bad situation because they have strong beliefs in the Bible. They have strong Christian beliefs. So, in a rather cowardly act, in a rather poor decision, they cut ties with the company behind the Muppets, and they removed any Muppet toys from their chain restaurants, or whatever you spell it out loud. I'm sorry, English is not really my first language. I have to say that an action like this is even worse than donating to anti-gay organizations. Why? Let's see. They came out and they said that they removed the toys because it had a hazard. It had an issue where kids were having their fingers stuck in them, which is ridiculous. Tell me what kind of kid will have their fingers stuck in a little toy? A toy that even an adult can fit in and can easily get out. This move is clear spite. This move says you support gays, we don't support gays, we don't want business with you. Of course, this is going to cause people to get upset at this restaurant. For those who don't have the common sense, what this restaurant did by refusing to do business with a company that supports gays, they committed bigotry. And that is something inexcusable. Bigotry is something I will never condone, I will never excuse. And you know what's the sad thing? People have actually come out to their defense. Our society has a lot of troubles when you find people openly supporting bigots. Now, you know, this is a part that really upsets me. It angers me because I've been checking pictures, I've been checking Facebook posts about the controversy, about how rightfully so there's been people that want to boycott this restaurant. If I recall correctly, there's a mayor in a state or a city that is pretty much refusing to allow this restaurant to open any more places there because they don't want intolerance there, and I applaud them for that. And what angers me is the way people defend the actions of this bigot company. There's three little things these people pull in order to, try to gain the advantage and the sympathy of others. First of all, they hide behind free speech. Let me tell you something, people. Homophobia, discrimination, bigotry, and homophobia are not free speech. Sure, you can say you don't like gays. You can say you are a, a strong believer in your religion, in Christianity, in whatever religion of your faith is. But do not try to say that refusing to, taking part in discrimination is freedom of speech. Don't be ridiculous, please. The second thing they try to use to justify their actions, to excuse their bigotry, is their religion. They're trying to say that people are discriminating them because of their religious beliefs. How can somebody be this ignorant? I mean, in my main channel, I make commentaries on people that are outright ignorant, and I just comment and say, you're wrong in this and this, and try to give a positive feedback. But this, they're trying to say you're just angry at them because they are professing their beliefs. This is freedom of speech. This is their religion. Stop discriminating. Stop hating them. Let me clarify something, people. This restaurant, this company, is not getting hit because of their beliefs. They are being quote unquote hated. They are receiving heat because they are being bigots. They are being homophobic. They are being intolerant towards a community. Unless you're going to tell me that you condone racism because it's their freedom of speech, or you're going to justify xenophobia because it's their freedom of speech, this is their belief. I can't believe people talk about the Christianity. They talk about the traditional family values, especially in a country that now allows everyone to express their religion, to be free to profess whatever religion they believe in. Christianity is no longer the center of the universe. Christianity is no longer the only religion in the world. And I say it myself as a Roman Catholic. Now, the two reasons, the two excuses I mentioned previously also associate with the third excuse, the victim card. This is real, like I said before, it's sad. These people don't realize how sad, how bad they look, what kind of scumbag they make themselves to be. And I apologize for using the term, I apologize for using it if it sounds like an insult, but that's how it looks, that's how I see them. Why? Because they're trying to justify, like I said, it boggles my mind. They're trying to justify homophobia and bigotry. They're trying to justify discrimination against a group because of their sexual orientation. And they're trying to hide it behind the Old Testament. They try to hide it behind the old traditional values of the Bible. They try to hide behind a form of Christianity that hasn't been used for a long time. And by not used by a long time, I'm talking about the majority. I'm talking about people that already grabbed common sense. For goodness sake. But you know what's the funny part and sad part at the same time? Well, these people try to hide behind the Old Testament, while they try to conveniently use parts of the Old Testament that are convenient to them. They forget another little bit that they forgot. If they really are so, no, I was going to use the word hell. I don't want to use it. I want to be a little more politically correct. If they are so determined, that's the word. If they are so determined to express their beliefs, to be so attached to an old form of Christianity, then these people are already sinners, even worse sinners than homosexuals. According to Christianity, to the Old Testament, to the old form of Christianity, people should not eat pork. And what's the thing they are serving in this place? Pork. That just makes them look worse. Even worse when they use a stock photography of a young girl and try to use it to defend them. And it's hilarious because they forget that people can see when people join Facebook, they can see where the picture comes from. People can immediately investigate. They are not stupid. Who do you think you're dealing with? These people are not ignorant. They know when a suck account. I'm sorry. They know a suck account when they see it, especially when it's this poorly used. Or used this poorly. Again, my bad. But there's something worse about them. There's something that really puts the Americans in a bad light for me. Something that stops me from wanting to ever visit the United States. Their fanatism. Not only religious, but also political fanatism. These people take these things like a personal war. You're either with them or you're the devil. If you're not on the left, you are the devil. If you are not on the right, I'm sorry, I got it mixed. If you're not conservative, you're the devil. If you're not liberal, you're the devil. It's ridiculous. Not even the politicians in my country are this crazy, are this devoted to something like that. They are so busy fighting amongst themselves, they don't even bother to help their own countrymen. But despite everything, it's nice to see that even a website like Facebook has a little bit of common sense. And now I talk about this fanatism towards politics and talking about conservatives versus Democrats. And again, my bad, I messed it up bad. I apologize for it. But anyway, I talk about this little point about politics because today, right at the moment before I started recording this video, which is pretty much what motivated me to do this video, was that they opened a little Facebook group in support of this restaurant because they are getting a lot of heat. They are The population of the United States, the ones that have common sense, are pretty much chewing them out. So they made a group in support to their beliefs, in support to their stance, and Facebook, rightfully so, took it down. What these people don't realize is that defending this restaurant, again, is supporting homophobia, which is discrimination against a group, which, as far as I know and as far as I have read myself, goes against Facebook's policies. Once again, the ignorance is rather painful. I respect your beliefs, but don't expect me to respect you and respect your twisted mentality that discrimination is right. You don't want to be discriminated for your religion, then don't discriminate other groups. Don't discriminate people for their sexual orientation. It's that easy, but unfortunately, these people are too blind to see it. But something that gives me hopes is that at least people is smart enough to not fall for it. And while they still have supporters, they still have people that plan to go to their sport day on August 1st. There's many others that know better. And honestly, it is clear that this restaurant have lost their track. They don't really know their own stance. As far as I'm concerned, they're just a chain of restaurants that support homophobia and are willing to discriminate on other groups for their sexual orientation and will hide behind their religion and beliefs and freedom of speech to justify this horrible behavior. With due respect, and people will have to forgive me, but only horrible people do things like this. Do not claim to be a nice person, do not claim to be a nice family man when you discriminate. Okay? I think I have spoken enough. I want to thank you if any of you made it this far listening to my rambling. I really thank you wholeheartedly. I will put more videos like this until I recover my camera. And I guess that's it. I will be seeing you guys in the next one. And please remember, people, if you're going to believe in something, don't do it like these people. Believe in something because you do, and don't use it as an excuse, to be bad, to be mean, to be horrible. Anyway, see you later, people.